So this man is putting up $1 million to bet that a high school boys basketball team would beat a WNBA team. And I have to say, this is the most disrespectful yet truest I've ever seen. And to be specific, he's saying a high school boys state champion team, so not just any run-of-the-mill basketball team. Okay, so I find it disrespectful because why the hell are we betting on a basketball game between boys and grown-ass women? Is no need to do that. It really wouldn't prove shit, and I don't really think it's fair for like obvious physical reasons. It reminds me of when Brittany Griner said she could beat DeMarcus Cousins. I mean, it just simply is delusional, like he said. And she's great in her own right. So it's like, in my opinion, there's no need to compare, women and men or boys and women and girls and men. It's just no need to compare. Everybody is great in their own right. But the true part about this man's belief and why if I had to bet my own hard-earned money, I would bet on the boys too, is because he's right. The top high schoolers are basically built like fucking grown men, 6'9", 200, 6'8", 210. Bro, these are basically grown men. Yes, they're in high school, but they not built like regular high schoolers, bro. So putting them against women is just not fair, just off of the size difference. May the women be more skilled and shit like that? Of course, they do that shit professionally, but still, the size difference is just too fucking huge to overcome. But y'all let me know what y'all think. Who would you bet on?
All right, guys, so we got to talk about a pretty fascinating but hilarious story here involving Clay Travis, who has triggered the woke WNBA because he issued a $1 million bet that their championship team, the Las Vegas Aces, would lose to a championship caliber boys basketball team. Now, you guys may not know that the WNBA just had their championship game and the Las Vegas Aces are the champions of the WNBA. I certainly didn't know that, right? I didn't hear about it. Despite apparently the league has pretty decent ratings this year because there's a massive push to prove that women's basketball is actually something that people want to watch, right? So they've been advertising it everywhere. ESPN has been pushing it. They've been pushing it in our faces, right? But, me personally, even with all the push, I still haven't seen it because I really don't care, right? I mean, it's just not something I'm all that interested in watching. Maybe one day, right? But who knows? Maybe that one day could be a WNBA team actually not playing another WNBA team, because this right here is fascinating, okay? Because the WNBA is currently silent, okay, and the Las Vegas Aces as well too, on Clay Travis's bet, because they most certainly heard it, right? They heard it, again, after Chelsea Gray, who's a guard for the Aces, called Clay a dumbass for claiming that a good high school boys championship caliber team could smoke a WNBA team. She said he was a dumbass. And at that point, that's when he said, okay, well, I'll put $1 million on it. Right? I'll put $1 million on it that a good high school boys championship caliber basketball team could smoke a WNBA team. Take a look.
Would smoke the best team in the WNBA. Let me repeat that because it's true and it's important. A good state championship level boys high school team would absolutely smoke the WNBA champions. Give me a team from California, New York, Texas, or Florida. I would bet my entire savings in the bank that the boys' high school team would beat the WNBA team. Give me 25 or more state champions. Oh, because some states are small, right? Like, I don't know how many people play high school basketball in Wyoming. I don't know how many people play in Rhode Island, right? Like, some states don't have that big a population. So the state championship basketball team might not be very good there. But for the 25 largest states in America, every single one of those states has a state champion boys basketball team that would obliterate the WNBA champion in a game. Now, look, some people like middle school, low-level high school basketball. Most of those people we call parents. But if you love the WNBA, you can go buy your WNBA tickets and you can go sit courtside. For most of us, we would rather have $5 in cash than the WNBA team in our city win a championship. That's because the WNBA doesn't have fans. And it's not because the media won't cover the WNBA. ESPN shoves the WNBA down our throats even though nobody cares, because they have to do it as part of their partnership with the NBA. The WNBA's never made any money because people don't care, because women don't care. You know who actually go watch the WNBA? Men. Men are WNBA fans, and there aren't very many of them, but that's who actually goes and watches. So what's interesting about this is when I say all of these, which are irrefutably true, and when I point out that the WNBA has existed basically for 25 years now, a quarter of a century, that it still has no fans, that people still don't care at all about the WNBA, people are like, oh my goodness, how dare you? This is so sexist of you. It's such a misogynistic thing to say. No, it just means the sport sucks. And most sports fans don't care about it at all. And of course, at ESPN, they've got a white knight for the WNBA. So this all started because they said, oh, New York City has a new big three. And then they shared a picture of three people that nobody knew. That is artificial engineering, right? If you tell me something that is not true, right? Everybody knew the original big three. Everybody knows Kyrie Irving. Everybody knows James Harden. Everybody knows Kevin Durant. You might not love the NBA. You would recognize, if you are a sports fan, all three of those people. Most of you can't even name 3 WNBA franchises. I don't even know how many there are. Most of you can't name 5 total WNBA players. Even if you're a diehard basketball fan, you can't do that. That's because the product sucks. And in a capitalistic marketplace, if your product sucks, you lose.
Yeah, so you see now, you heard that. Now I'm going to talk a little bit more about what Clay Travis said, because everything he said was true. But some people may have an issue with this, because I think some people think that, well, you know, there are people that are more right-leaning that are giving the WNBA and some women athletes a hard time, right? You're being too tough on them, right? And I'm going to tell you why I think that that's a silly thing to say. Because, again, this is the type of criticism that these athletes, they ask for, right? And they're getting what they asked for. And now people want to boo-hoo on and cry about it. So let's read here. It's been 24 hours since Clay Travis issued a challenge to the Las Vegas Aces and so far Crickets. The OutKick founder is challenging the WNBA champion to play a game against a boys high school basketball team. The winner gets $1 million. It's because Aces guard Chelsea Gray called Clay a, quote, dumbass for claiming, quote, a good state championship caliber high school boys team would smoke the best team in the WNBA. OutKick reached out to both the Aces and the WNBA for comment, but we have not received a response. Of course you haven't received a response, right? Because they was talking that big smack, right? Oh, you're a dumbass for saying that. Okay, well, since I'm so dumb, again, put $1 million on it, right? Put your money where your mouth is, okay? Again, they're gonna be, of course, they're gonna be silent, right? They know what the truth is. Meanwhile, Clay's offer stands. If the Aces lose, they have to pony up $1 million, which he will donate to the boys' high school team. But if the Aces win, they will get $1 million of Clay's own money. In fact, he's upping the ante. Quote, I am thinking about putting the game on pay-per-view if the Aces will agree to play. He posted on X Saturday. I think we might be able to make more money from their game against the boys team than the entire WNBA makes in a year. Would definitely be the most popular WNBA game ever. I agree with him on that. I would pay so much money to watch that, right? Just because watching that would essentially destroy any argument that men and women's sports are equal in regards to quality of play, right? In athleticism, and that men and women should get paid the same, right? They should get paid the same because they're doing the same work. And it's like, no, you're not doing the same work because it's not the same quality of play on the field or the court, right? Also, what it would do would also prove that Men and women should not be playing against each other, right? When it comes to certain issues of biological boys wanting to compete against biological girls in sports. Yeah, I think this needs to happen. Okay, I think this needs to happen. I mean, we've already seen this happen before. We've seen like what was like a high school, like 15-year-olds or something like that, teenager soccer team. They beat the women's soccer team, right? I think we've seen this before. Okay, I mean, we all know what the outcome would be, right? I mean, they would just get absolutely destroyed. I remember I was at UNC and I was playing pickup basketball one time, and I heard a story about how I think it was the club's men's team was beating the varsity girls basketball team. Okay, so there are levels to it, right? So there's like club level, and then there's like JV, I think, and then varsity. Varsity is what you guys see on TV and whatnot, right? Like the main thing, the televised stuff. And then there's JV under that, which is like basically like the G League, okay, for varsity. And then there's club, right? The guys that, were decent in high school, but still not good enough to be on the actual basketball team for the school. Yeah. So again, I mean, you're talking about, club level men whooping up on the varsity level women. I mean, just dominating them. Yeah, I mean, y'all know what the outcome would be. It's not even close. Okay. And I would say it doesn't even be a championship level, boys basketball team. I'll probably bet $1 million. If I had $1 million, I'd probably bet $1 million that, I don't know, maybe even like some run-of-the-mill boys basketball team might give them a run for their money. Okay, that would probably be more interesting. But you got a whole bunch of people saying they pay to watch. I mean, I would totally watch. And I definitely believe that this game would generate more revenue than any WNBA game ever, right? It would generate so much money. If they did the right marketing for it, Again, this is a great idea, right? Especially for these women that boo-hoo whine and complain about not getting paid enough. Oh, the gender wage gap, we don't get paid enough, boo-hoo. All right, well, here's your opportunity to make some paper, right? To get a payoff of a lifetime. So I don't know, man. I think if I was the women's team, I'd do it. If you're so confident that, hey, you deserve to get paid the same as men, okay, and that the quality of the sport is the same. Some folks, though, weren't so enthralled with the proposal. Quote, y'all really leverage women's sports as an opportunity to be transphobic. Embarrassing. Ball sack Smarts posted on X. Stop tearing women's sports down for engagement. Clay both refuted those claims and expressed his deepest apologies for not having the esteemed ethics of ball sack sports. Oh my God. Oh man. And there were plenty of accusations of sexism, as if acknowledging biological differences between men and women is somehow suggesting women are less than men. OutKick's Riley Gage weighed in. Quote, of course, women are not less than men. We're not inferior to men, but we are different, and we deserve to be recognized and celebrated by our uniqueness and physical ceilings. Need reminding of U.S. women's soccer national soccer team. Yeah, exactly. Getting destroyed, right? Getting destroyed. She's, of course, referring to that time the FC Dallas U15 boys soccer team beat the U.S. WNT in a scrimmage. Clay is quite literally put his money where his mouth is, and the offer is gaining traction, but don't expect the WNBA or the Aces to take him up on it. It's a lose-lose situation for them. If the Aces lose, women's basketball would never live it down. If they win, they can't exactly brag about beating a bunch of high school kids. A cool $1 million sure would be nice, though. Yeah, I mean, again, these people that complain about the gender pay gap and being discriminated against, they should get paid the same as men. Boo-hoo. I'm just saying, here's your opportunity to get that payday you always wanted. But again, they're not going to respond because they know that they probably can't beat a championship level boys basketball team, like a high school team. They know they can't, right? So they're not going to respond. They're not going to do it because otherwise, if I was them, I'd be, look, this is an easy $1 million, right? If the girls' game or the women's game is such high quality, right? You deserve to get paid the same as men. This is an easy $1 million, right? Easy $1 million, probably more than that. When you talk about all the money that will be raised, okay, from this game, shoot, they might be able to get a payoff of maybe 10 million or so. Right? I'm just saying, between all of them, they might get paid 10 million. They get paid more from this one game than anything that they'll get paid in the WNBA. So if I was them, I would definitely do it, right? If you're really trying to get that payday, I mean, look, they're so desperate for money, they'll fly to Russia and play, right, for the money, okay? I'm referring to Brittany Griner. I'm just saying, right? I'm just saying, they're that desperate. If I was them, I would definitely take Clay Travis up on this. But the reason why they're not going to is because they know that they would get embarrassed if they actually did it. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.